Hello, everybody, and we are back with our next session, DePIN and Data Market 3.0, today and tomorrow, with our CEO, Adrienne Youngman. Adrienne? Yeah. And our Chief Success Officer, Bruce Ahn. Bruce. Take it away.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
As you can see from the slide, DePIN and data markets, and specifically where there might be use cases. And we'll start with this idea of...
Wait, hang on just for a second here. So, Adrienne, I've been sitting in that corner over there the whole day, and I've been listening to a lot of great conversations. But I'd like to do something fun. Can we do something fun? Can we play a game?
No.
I want to play a game. Can we play a...
No fun allowed, only boring content, thanks very much. No, of course we can play a game.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we're going to play a game, and I want to involve the audience in this game. And what I want to know is, am I getting paid an appropriate amount of salary, Adrienne, as a Web3 degen? So I want to know how much everybody here is making, and I want to know if I'm around the same range or higher or lower. So can we play a game with the audience? Audience, would you like to play a game with us? Yes. Okay, so let's play a game. Yes. All right, let's play a game. And so what we're going to do is the following things, okay? We're going to give you guys 3 cards and a pen. So now you're going to see people handing out Post-its, okay? And you guys are going to take 3 cards from that Post-it. So, yeah, look for the lovely ladies who are handing out the cards. And Adrienne, you get to play as well. So I'm going to give you 3 cards, and I'm going to get 3 cards. Yes. There you go. Okay, so everyone's going to get 3 cards. And what you're going to think about is your yearly compensation. How much do you make as a Web3 degen yearly? It doesn't matter what it is that you do. Just how much do you make last year, let's say as an example, how much did you make last year total, yearly? Okay? Oop. And then you're going to think of 3 numbers. It could be positive or negative. But when you add them up, it equals to your yearly total compensation. And then you're going to write one of those numbers in each of those papers. So as an example, if your yearly total compensation is $25,000, then as a Web3 degen, you're failing. But what you're going to write down, or what you could potentially write down, is $13,000, $32,000, and negative $20,000, which totals $25,000. So think of that number, those 3 numbers, and write it down on that piece of paper, 1 number on each paper. And then once you have it written down, you could pass it along to one of those lovely ladies that will be collecting it from you guys. And I'm going to do the same thing. So while everybody does that, I'm going to pass this back over to Adrienne, who's going to talk about DePIN, while you write those numbers down.
Excellent. So I'm guaranteed your full attention. While you do mental arithmetic, let's talk about DePIN. So my last project actually was one of the original DePIN projects. So it's a space that is dear to my heart. I think the best definition I ever heard of DePIN is community-owned infrastructure. It's this idea of, it's everything from kind of the simplest version, which I would say is kind of like Uber with a token, where the protocol kind of intermediates, through to the more decentralized, like as always, decentralization is a spectrum, where you actually have decentralized governance, you maybe even have decentralized demand-side access, at which point it's like Uber being governed by the drivers and being accessed through not one app, but as many apps as people want to create and build on top of it. So you have this kind of whole spectrum of things, and the thing that's really exciting about it is it's proven as a really good way to bootstrap supply, so you can get a new business up and running. It gives you kind of the ability to build out a network really fast in really cool ways. And it enables individuals to be empowered to earn from their data. So I think Bruce and I were talking about Fitbit the other day. They make a huge amount of value from the data that they are gleaning from the devices that we all wear. In a DePIN version of that, maybe you would be the one earning a share of value from contributing your data into that ecosystem. It's one of these fundamental ideas that we all become owners in the ecosystems that we're part of, and we derive value from the value that we create. Now, this has gone insane in the last year. I think there's over 3,000 or probably even more at this point, DePINs listed on some of the big DePIN trackers. There is every kind of use case you can imagine, from the more traditional ones where it's people using their computers to provide decentralized networks for compute or storage, through to a kind of explosion of real world use cases where you've got Helium probably are the best known in this. They've been around for quite a while, building kind of wireless hotspots or people mapping local areas and trying to compete with Google Maps. You've got noise pollution tracking with an app that sits on your mobile, and you can earn as customers come and use that data. You've got a myriad of use cases that are emerging, and it's got that feeling of really taking off as a model. But what you have within that also is you've got a huge amount of data being tracked on devices. You've got a huge amount of information. Like that, you take the noise pollution one. It seems kind of innocuous. You're like the human interface for the machines. You go around and let it listen to wherever you are, and it learns and makes value from that data and shares it back with you. It therefore knows where you are, when you're there, what your movement patterns are. That's linked to a device that is yours. There's a huge amount of identifying information that kind of runs through these ecosystems. So there's a kind of regulatory aspect of, perhaps actually we could do that better. We could enable compliance in a more effective way. There's also the fact that actually you could compute on that data without the data leaving the device. So, you are holding all of this information, and maybe the apps that are built on it, the insight that's generated from it, can be done through something like MPC without you disclosing information that maybe you don't want to disclose. Or maybe even the companies don't want you to disclose, because then they have the responsibility of making sure that it's handled correctly, and maybe they don't even need to do that in order to provide the value. So this is kind of an emerging movement that has grown almost exponentially. And if you apply the law of startups, that 1 in 10 will succeed. If you apply the law of unicorns, that maybe 1 in 100 might become a unicorn, then as I said, there's over 3,000. There's going to be some really interesting use cases coming out of this. Even, Uber and Airbnb, when they went through their IPOs, they petitioned the SEC for quite a while to try to give equity to their supply side, their drivers, their hosts, because of the power of this concept and the ability it has to link back into things like retention and loyalty. So I think this is an exciting area that we're starting to think about, and we're starting to understand how privacy plays a role and what needs to happen to facilitate the rapid emergence that we're seeing. And that's something I think is exciting, because I'm a DePIN believer.
Thanks, Adrienne. Yeah, I think if I could highlight one of the words that you use quite often is data. And while DePIN really is like a physical infrastructure, it is a physical infrastructure that is holding a lot of data, and a lot of those data could potentially be private. So let's talk a little bit about this private data that we have, and also talk a little bit about secure multi-party computation. So secure multi-party computation enables the collaboration of mutually distrustful parties. So what is a mutually distrustful party? It could be between me and my friend Oleg there. It could be between a financial institution and another financial institution. Or it could be between a bank and a customer. These are mutually distrustful parties, because you can't trust 100% in exposing all of your data between each other. That's what a mutually distrustful party is. And what secure multi-party computation does is enables the collaboration of these two mutually distrustful parties. That's number one. And it also protects the parties, their data, while still enabling the computation of it. Which means I can work with Oleg and collaborate with our data without needing to share the details of our data with each other. And this computation that we can do in private can be done in real time. So some really simple examples of mutually distrustful parties. Let's say you have DePIN project number 1, DePIN project number 2, DePIN project number 3. Number 3 is doing, a Fitbit, Adrienne, as you mentioned. It's holding health data. The other DePIN project is holding maybe GPS information about your phone. And DePIN project number 1 is holding Wi-Fi information, your browsing habits, and so on and so forth, or Wi-Fi SSIDs, right, as an example. These 3 projects are mutually distrustful. They're not able to share data with each other on many private data that they hold. GPS is a very clear example of a data that really should not be shared amongst another party. But with multi-party computation, it allows these projects to collaborate together without needing to expose their data to each other. Or it could be activating edge devices, private data itself. The edge devices also hold a lot of private data. But now you have a network that allows the collaboration of each of these edge device networks or these devices between each other without them needing to actually disclose their own data. And what this really means is changing the data market from what we know today to a new way of handling data. Right now in the current market, we're buying and selling data. I'm selling my data to somebody. I'm giving my data away, or I'm selling it to somebody. Google, Facebook, so on and so forth. They have access to all of your data, and they provide some sort of a service as a result. So you're selling your data. And when you sell your data, you lose control over it because you've given it away. But also for the other companies, it's a point-in-time data only. So when Google or Facebook extracts your data, that's a point-in-time data. It's not real time. And what multi-party computation or a confidential computing really provides is the ability to change that narrative, to change the market from buying and selling of data to just exchanging the use of the data, but not selling the data itself. Users, you guys, remain in control of that data. So we played a little game before, right? You guys wrote down 3 numbers that equals your salaries, and you gave that away. But did you really give it away? That person that took that number, when they mix it up, will they know that is what your salary is? Did you give that away? You still remain in control of that data. And it's real-time analytics. You can actually analyze this in real time, giving the advertisers, the businesses, access into data that is real time. And so this is the paradigm shift on how we, wow. Okay, so we're gonna talk. Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm gonna reveal what the numbers were in a second. But this is what Data Market 3.0 really is. So, let's talk about the results of the game. Let's talk about what our average compensation, how much do we all make in average total is $237,500. Wow, you guys are making a lot of money. You guys are making a lot of money. $237,500 was the average yearly compensation and 24 participants. That's the average salary. Did anyone that participated in this game, did you actually disclose your salary? Did you need to disclose your salary? No, right? All you gave was 3 random numbers. That was it. So no one needed to disclose their compensation details. The data remained with you. The computer, which is Alex over there, who's waving his hand, he computed the data, but he still didn't know your compensation information. He didn't know that. So you guys didn't need to give him any kind of trust. And the average comp was at $237,500. I need to make more, Adrienne.
You're already overpaid. So are the rest of you.
Congratulations, everybody. So this is the power of confidential computing, and multi-party computation is a part of the confidential computing, right? It allows for both Web 2 and Web 3 applications to call Partisia Blockchain as a service. Your applications that require private computations, your DePIN projects that require private data to be collaborated together, you can still build on other blockchains, but still utilize us as a service. Smart contracts in the other chain really sends that data over into Partisia Blockchain. We do the computation, and then we send that data across over into the other network. And all of that can be paid in gas in the native token itself. Because in Partisia Blockchain, you can pay for gas using Ethereum, BNB, Polygon, USDC, USDT, we'll be onboarding WBTC. So imagine being able to pay for these types of computation using other native tokens. And so I think that's where we kind of fit in the DePIN market, potentially. What are your thoughts?
I'd rather hear your thoughts. Are you guys convinced? Seeing some nodding heads? I can see we've got a way to go with some more of you. From what I've seen, I think there's a lot of potential. And I think that's where we're at, is kind of identifying those use cases and identifying that potential. And I am excited to share more with you as we continue in that journey. And I'm grateful that you came and joined us for this session today. Thank you, Bruce, for the entertainment and the education.
And thank you all. Alex is walking over here. He's like, I want to get paid more too.
Yeah, he's on strike.
Yeah, that average salary sounded really nice. No.
Did I have to turn this off?
No, we just leave it on. Oh, okay. So thank you very much. That was a lot of fun and a lot of math. More math than I've done in a long, long time. So I'm glad we pulled it off. Thank you, Line, for the help in the calculation.